So without further ado, but about me, but not so important, we don't have time. The session's going to look like this. I'm going to give you input now for the next 15 to 20 minutes. I'll try and keep it as brief as possible and give you guys as much time as possible to look into things on your own and discuss and come back and discuss it in the general forum afterwards. The breakout rooms, you'll be divided into smaller groups, and each of you will be given a sample advertisement of a voluntary role opportunity, and it will be down to you to analyze it according to what you will have learned in the preceding 20 minutes, as well as your own common sense and what you think. Right or wrong answers, it's just a question of what you believe is the best way to go in the circumstances, with some guidelines. So, what is the purpose? I'm just trying to see how I can, sorry, get rid of this, right. I have seen some communications from various charities that talk about all sorts of magical things that a job ad is, or a role ad is meant to achieve. And they talk about a contract with the volunteer, and understanding the role, and KPIs, which are the points that the volunteer has to achieve, so that at a feedback session, they can, the manager and the volunteer have something to base the conversation on and say, oh, you've achieved this point, but you haven't achieved that point, whatever. That's a big jumble, and what I'd like to do in this session is separate and explain the difference between the actual advertisement and a job specification. The role of the advert is only two. There's only two things that an advert is expected to do. It has to let people know that there's an opening and explain to people why, or potential candidates, why it's worth applying for. What is your organization, what does your organization have that is appealing, or what does the role have that's appealing enough to get the best possible candidates to apply for that role? And that is what we're going to focus on today. That is the most important aspect of an advert. Okay, before you even start writing an advert, you need to think for yourself, what is it that you want? Who are you trying to attract? What exactly is it that you want them to do? What will their responsibilities be? Do the other people in your organization feel the same way? Because a lot of the time, if there's no discussion before the job ad goes out, you'll get some poor person accepting the role. They come on board and they have one person saying, oh, I need you to do such and such, and another person saying, why haven't you done such and such? Because the people within the organization itself did not coordinate before they recruited. It's really, really vital that you have that everyone within the organization is on the same page when it comes to writing that job ad, and that everyone has the same expectations of what the person that you're recruiting will be doing. Right. This is my area of expertise. It's not so much about, it's true for anything that you do within the organization or outside of it. If you're looking for a job, if you are looking to find clients for your own company, if you're looking to recruit a volunteer, or if you're looking to recruit a paid employee, the rules remain the same. You need to know exactly who it is that you are looking for. Who is this person that you are trying to attract? Because until you know who it is that you're trying to attract, you won't know how to attract them. So first and foremost, who is this person? Is it a man or a woman that you want in the role? Are they a student sort of age, or are they a pensioner? Are they someone who is looking to volunteer into employment, Or is it someone who's already financially secure and just looking to do, someone who's already financially secure and just looking to do a few hours here and there to make themselves still feel like they're in the game? Is it someone who necessarily needs to be very academic, or is it someone who you would rather have more practical and not necessarily academic, but say very good with their hands? You need to know, are there people who care about animals? Are there people who care about children? You really, 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 I can't emphasize this strongly enough. You need to know who it is that you want. Because like I said, until you know who you want, you won't know how to find them. The next thing that we need to look at is how to appeal to your ideal volunteer. Now, once we know who that person is that we're looking for, the minute we understand the character that we want in our organization, we need to start thinking like they do. What is it that matters to them that you can say that will make them want to work for you? So that would be in the benefits section of your advertisement, but it also goes far beyond the benefits section, because it comes into the whole fabric of the advert. The way you describe the organization, the way you describe the job role, the way you, everything that you, all the words that you use in this ad need to be geared to attracting that person that you've already decided is the one that you want, as per the previous slide. So say, for example, you want a young, energetic student who is either in a gap year or has some time available during their degree course. What's the most important thing to that student person? Maybe the fact that they need to have some concrete experience on their CV. Maybe it's the fact that they want to network within a certain industry because they've decided that that's an industry that they'd like to get into once they've qualified. Think about what matters to them. Every single word on your advert needs to be geared to your listener, to your reader, to the person that you want to attract. What do they want? What do they care about? And then you write it. Unless you can establish that it's something that your audience cares about, don't even bother putting it in your ad. Which is why I come back to saying you really need to know who you're targeting, because that's the only way you'll know who they care about. I wonder if I can move this up away somehow. Right. This is the much more pedestrian section, if you like. I'm going to send everybody notes, so don't worry about scribbling everything down. I've got everything written out, and I've got it written out in a lot more detail than the slides have. So don't stress about capturing every word. This bit is about how you structure the advert. What that means is what needs to go in there. I'm not going to read out the list. I'm sure you're all very capable of reading the list yourselves. What I do want to emphasize, though, is that you have to manage expectations. So in other words, the person needs to know what you want from them, how many hours you want from them, how much travel, what will be reimbursed, what will be coming out of their own pocket, what, if there's some very awkward or difficult aspects to the job, say so, because there's no point pretending that, it's all hunky-dory if there are going to be some awkward bits, because you'll get someone who starts and then drops out because that's not what they wanted to do. So it's really, really worth being brutally honest in the job ad. And yes, it will put some people off, but that's fine, because rather put them off at this stage. Again, like I said, the benefits to the volunteer and the introduction to your organization really, really, really need to be so carefully thought about in terms of what your audience would like to hear. If it's a kind of, if you are trying to attract somebody who's an animal lover, you need to talk about your organization in terms of what they do for animals, even if it just means that staff are allowed to bring their dogs into work. Whatever it is, you need to write the right thing to attract the right person for you.